Hey guys, it's Mrs. Gloom, and we're going to continue reading our chapter book, Middle School, The Worst Years of My Life. Chapter 36. What Now? I spent the whole afternoon trying to come up with some kind of plan for how I was going to deal with Miller. All of my ideas were great, except for the part about them being totally impossible. And letting Miller keep the notebook just wasn't an option. I mean, if Mom acted the way she did about what happened on Halloween, what would she do if she found out about the whole Operation Rafe thing? I had to face the facts. Miller had me, and I was going to spend the rest of sixth grade buying back that stupid notebook, one page at a time. That meant I needed to start making some money right away. As far as I knew, there was only one way to do that, and it was sitting in brightly colored cans in the garage. Yes, Leo said as soon as I thought of it. That's what I'm talking about. You're back, I said. Never left, he said. I was just waiting around for something interesting to happen. Oh, and by the way, you tanked your second life when Miller got that notebook away from you. Only one life left. You're going to have to be careful. I don't care about that right now, I said. I just want the notebook. Well, then what are you waiting for? Let's go. Okay, I said. I headed out toward the garage. But I'm only selling the soda, I told Leo. I'm not going back into the game. We'll see, Leo said. Chapter 37. Busted. So there I was, minding my own business, stealing a few six-packs of Zoom out of the garage, when guess who came walking up to me with her silent little feet to spy on me? What are you doing, Georgia? Asked. You're not supposed to be out here. Are you taking that? Why are you taking that? Close the door, I told her. I knew that'd be faster than trying to get her to go away. Bear's gonna kill you, she said. Not if he doesn't find out. I put another six-pack in my backpack, then stepped up really close so I was looking straight down at her. Understood? She tried to look past me. Why do you need so much? She asked. Why are you on his side? I asked. I'm not, she said right away. I knew that would get her. She hates Bear as much as I do. Listen, I told her. Every time I take some of these, I'll take one for you too. We can drink it when Bear's asleep and Mom's not around. She looked first at me and then at the cases under the workbench and then back at me. You've done this before, haven't you? She said. Do you want it or not? I said, holding up the can. The thing is, Georgia likes soda even more than secrets, and Mom hardly ever lets us drink it. What if we get caught? She said. We won't, I told her. Not if we keep our mouths shut and don't say anything. Okay. Ever, I said. Okay, I promise. She looked at the can instead of me. I took her by the shoulders and made her sit down on an old milk crate. For Mom's sake, I said, swear. I swear, she insisted. Triple swear. That was only a double, but I let her go. Even with all that promising, there was no guarantee. Not with Georgia. But it was all I had now. She had already busted me, and this was the best chance I had at keeping her quiet. I was just going to have to take my chances. Chapter 38. The Dark Ages. If you ask me, one of the worst parts of the school year is in between Halloween and Thanksgiving. You've been there long enough so you know how bad it can be, but Christmas break isn't nearly soon enough, and the end of the year is nowhere in sight. It's also right after daylight savings time, so no matter when you leave in the morning, it's dark, and when you get home after school, it's practically dark. Dark, dark, dark. That was my life these days. When I showed up for the first of those 3 Wednesday detentions with Donatella, I found out she'd done the same thing as before. It was just going to be me and the Dragon Lady, all alone, for a whole hour. That could only mean one thing. I was Dragon Chow. I also started selling Zoom out of my locker again, but it wasn't the same anymore. The stakes were higher. I couldn't afford to get caught, so I couldn't do it all the time. Plus, Bear's stash was starting to get too low. I ended up spending more than half of what I made just putting new cans back in the garage so he wouldn't notice. Back in detention again, I did my best to keep Donatella from slicing and dicing my brain into little pieces, but it wasn't easy. She kept trying to talk to me, get me to talk about myself, and I kept telling her I had homework to do. Sometimes that worked, sometimes it didn't. Then there was Miller. You'd think he'd give me some credit for the whole break every single rule in the book thing, but no, he just thought I was trying to prove I was a bigger criminal than he was. Talk about paranoid. I had to tell him ahead of time how many pages I wanted to buy, and he would show up with just that many. I didn't get very far either. With the way I had to keep restocking Bear's stash, I only managed to keep 18 pages before Thanksgiving. On top of everything else, I was still trying to be normal Rafe and not get into any more trouble. I guess it was working. I wasn't any good at school, and I still hated my classes as much as ever. I thought being normal would make me feel like a better person, but so far, not really. But here's the funny part. Even though I felt like I was still living in the dark ages, nobody seemed to notice. As far as Mom and Jeannie and even Donatella were concerned, I had already turned over a whole new leaf. And if you're wondering about Leo, well, let's just say he thought I was getting exactly what I deserved. Chapter 39. Jeannie, Jeannie, Jeannie. Don't think I haven't noticed, Jeannie said to me on the Monday before Thanksgiving. I turned around with water dripping off my face from the fountain. Notice what? I said, wiping it away. On the outside I was just standing there, but on the inside I was thinking, holy cow, it's Jeannie. You can do this, Rafe. Just stay cool and don't say anything stupid. You've been playing by the rules, Jeannie said, and she whispered like it was some secret between us, which I guess it kind of was. She was the only other person who knew about Operation Rafe. I'm on a break, I told her. I'm just being normal for a while. Yeah, she said, that's what I noticed. So I wanted to ask you something. What are you doing after school on Wednesday? Nothing, I said in about a split second. That was quick, she said. Are you sure? Yep. It didn't seem possible, but I couldn't help but wondering if the impossible was about to happen. Was Jeannie Galletta really about to ask me to go out with her? Well, good, she said, because Student Council is doing a fundraiser at the Duper Market. We're sponsoring a family who can't afford their Thanksgiving. There's going to be a pie and cookie sale and a food drive, too, and we could really use some extra help. Oh, I said, well, yeah, okay. Sounds like a great cause. What else was I going to say? Great, Jeannie said, 3:30 on Wednesday. And if you can ask your mom or dad to make something for the bake sale, that would be awesome. Sure, I told her. My mom makes these really good apple pies all the time with lots of cinnamon. I'll bring one of those. Thanks, Rafe. I really appreciate it, Jeannie said. Then before she left, she leaned in again, really close, and whispered, I like you like this. And don't worry, your secret's safe with me. Before I could say anything or do something to mess it all up, she was already walking away. And I thought, Chapter 40. Charity Case. This was a real first. Nobody in the history of Rafe Cacciatorian had ever asked me to help out at a charity thing before, and when I told Mom about it, she thought it was great and got Swifty to donate a pie from the diner, no problem. I showed up at the Duper Market with it on Wednesday afternoon. Rafe, you're here, Jeannie said. She was like the queen bee in the middle of it all. There was a big table set outside with bake sale stuff and a huge bin where people coming out of the market could drop in food donations. She also had a jar in the middle of the table and it said thank you on it. Here's something else, I said, and I dropped the $10 that I couldn't afford in the jar from this week's Zoom sales. Wow, Jeannie's eyes opened wide like she was really impressed, and my heart went a little faster. Okay, a lot faster. So, we're trying to let people around the neighborhood know about the sale, and we've got these big signs and we're handing out flyers everywhere. Do you think you could? I'm on it, I told her. Great, she said. Then she reached under the table and took out what looked like about 15 pounds of orange fur. We got this from the high school. It's kind of big, but I think it'll fit you, she said. It was the costume for the Hills Village High School mascot. An orange falcon with wings, a big yellow beak, and a blue superhero cake. This will really get people's attention, Jeannie said. You're kidding, right? One look at her face told me she wasn't. Sure, I said. Anything for charity. Thanks, Rafe. You're the best. I tried to smile. It's a good thing that the costume covered my face, because I was about 16 shades of red once I put the whole thing on. As I walked across the Duper Market parking lot, I'm pretty sure that the laughing I heard was a whole lot more than people laughing with me, especially considering I wasn't laughing, not even a little bit. But I'll tell you something else. Once I got out there on the sidewalk and realized that nobody knew who the heck I was, just like with the ninja, I started kind of getting into it. I flapped my wings and jumped around with my sign. I gave out flyers and patted people on the back when they took them. Drivers honked their horns when they took them. And some of them even pulled in and pointed my way. If I do say so myself, I was just about the world's most awesome bake sale mascot ever. And don't think Jeannie didn't notice, because she did. You were amazing, she said afterward. Thanks again, Rafe. I liked that she thought I was amazing. It kind of made me feel amazing. Not only was Jeannie Galletta smiling at me like crazy, but I just spent the afternoon doing the kind of good stuff that good people do. Not just normal people, but good people. Maybe that's where I got my nerve to say what I said next. Do you want to go get some pizza after this? I asked her. My mom could drive you home later, and I'm starving. Oh, Jeannie said. In fact, that's all she said at first, and she wasn't smiling anymore. Listen, Rafe. I think you're really nice. Some of the time anyway, she said. But I don't want you to get the wrong idea. It just seemed like you were, I don't know, changing. And I thought it might be good for you to... To what? I said. I was really embarrassed, but I was also a little bit mad and getting madder. You know, she said, to join with school stuff, that kind of thing. You thought it would be good for me, I said, like I'm your little project or something? I didn't mean it that way, she said. Then Allison Prouty called over from her mom's minivan. Hey, JG, are you coming? That's what the popular kids called her, JG, for Jeannie Galetta. There were a bunch of them in the back seat. I have to go, Rafe, she told me. Please don't take what I said personally. I really appreciate what you did today. Sure, I said. Did you get extra credit for it too? Jeannie, Allison called. Come on. I really have to go, she said. Have a good Thanksgiving, Rafe. I'll see you next week. Whatever, I said, and she was already gone. I may have been dressed as a falcon, but I'll tell you what, I felt like the biggest Thanksgiving turkey in the world.